the new patent-pending Thread Magic, a revolutionary hypoallergenic formula from Taylor Seville. Thread Magic will condition and make it easier for you to work with your thread. Wax has been the stand-in until something better was created, and that's Thread Magic. It will help reduce drag, thereby lessening hand fatigue. You can wash and iron Thread Magic without the worry of staining or marring your thread or clothes. Wax also has a freezing and melting point. Thread Magic maintains its integrity past wax's threshold. You will reduce knotting, fraying, tangling, breaking, and twisting of the thread. Thread Magic is safe for the environment and made in the USA. Thread Magic is safe for all types of thread as well as sewing styles such as hand sewing and machine sewing. For hand sewing, the container will help you guide the thread so there's no need for you to touch Thread Magic while running your thread through it if you don't want to. It's a wonderful function that was brought about by numerous test market panels. Here's how it works. First, take the cap off. Feel free to push down on the Thread Magic prior to using like this. Now, taking a look at the container, you'll notice the numerous slits in the container that we call guides. These guides are where you will put the thread like this. Please make sure that the thread is between two of the guides and that the thread is sitting at the bottom of the thread guide. Once the thread is in place, put the cap back on. You'll notice that the cap sits just above the guide. This is to help ensure that the thread is not under any stress and will not possibly fray or break. Once you use Thread Magic, it'll help extend the life of your thread. Now that the cap is in place, simply pull on the thread to bring it through the guide and the Thread Magic. Now that your thread has been conditioned, you'll notice that it will not twist because it does not have a static charge. The thread will also be less likely to tangle and create knots. After a few uses, you can take the cap off and press down on the Thread Magic so that it fills in any open areas in the container. If you'd rather not put the cap on during an application, that's not a problem. Simply put the thread into two of the thread guides, and again making sure that it's at the bottom of that thread guide. Put your finger or thumb over the Thread Magic and pull your thread through just as if you had the cap on. Your thread is now conditioned and ready to use. It's safe to touch since it's non-toxic, hypoallergenic, and acid-free. It will help prevent mold, mildew, and protect against harmful UV rays. It will not leave a residue. To apply Thread Magic while you're winding your bobbin, simply follow your machine's threading instructions for bobbin winding. As you can see, our machine is ready set up for this process. So to begin, place your Thread Magic on your machine at least 5 to 7 inches away from the bobbin so you get a nice even wind to your bobbin. Next, put your thread through the Thread Magic, making sure it's going through two guides and that the thread is at the bottom of those thread guides, like that. Finally, put your finger or thumb on the Thread Magic while you wind your bobbin. It's that simple. If you place Thread Magic too close to the bobbin, your bobbin will wind unevenly like this. So please make sure you're placing the Thread Magic at least 5 to 7 inches away from your bobbin. Please do not place it this close. To apply the Thread Magic to the sewing machine, take the adhesive back off of the Thread Magic, like that, and place it anywhere on your machine as long as it's in the path of any of your thread guides. Since all machines are made differently, you may need to take some time to figure out what works best for your machine. Please be patient with this process. On some machines, the placement works best before any tension discs, like this machine. On other machines, it works best if you place a Thread Magic after the tension disc, like this machine. It really does depend on what machine you have. When you start to complete the needle threading process of your machine, please make sure that your thread goes between the guides of the Thread Magic and that the thread is placed all the way at the bottom of those thread guides. You may need to loosen the tension adjustment. Again, Please be patient with this necessary process. Once you have the tension set correctly, you're ready to sew. If you do not adjust the tension properly, you will find that your thread will bunch up when you start to sew. If this happens, please stop and adjust the tension so that your stitch returns to normal. I've adjusted the tension. We'll run a stitch. And now you can see the difference. The stitch is back to normal. Unlike hand sewers who will see an immediate difference in their thread, machine sewers and machine quilters will see a difference after a fair amount of repetitive action. For machine sewers, you'll need to complete 3 to 4 projects, and for quilters, you'll need to be using the machine for 3 to 4 hours to enjoy the difference and benefits Thread Magic makes to your thread. In addition to all the benefits we've already talked about, the reduction of static to your thread will allow you to discard unwanted thread easily, which can be a time saver. Thread Magic, the best product to condition your thread safely and effectively, is available at all sewing, quilting, beading, and craft stores.